can start on time and end on time, because those pies aren't going to eat themselves, folks. Well, welcome. Today is our grand opening, or our dedication service for the Ray Compressor Station. We'd like to thank all of you for taking your time out this morning and joining us. Thank you for the drive out if it was a drive for you, and thank you for stopping by if it was just around the corner. Without further delay, we'll have Mike VIGRASS come up, and he is the gas compressor station manager.
Good morning, and welcome to Ray Compressor Station. I am very excited to be here today and working for a company that's investing in Michigan. My name is Mike VIGRASS, and I'm the compression manager here at Consumers Energy, in charge of 7 compressor stations where we have some very large and very cool toys that move a lot of natural gas. And if you take one of the tours today around our facility, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. For now, I'd like to talk a little bit about safety. If you're part of the ribbon cutting event, the hard hat safety glasses are required, along with everybody turning their cellular phones off. If you go to one of our tours, these same items are required, along with some hearing protection. As you can hear, that we are running some engines today. Safety features of this plant include overpressure protection systems, fire detection system, gas leak detection system, and remote monitoring of all alarms and shutdowns of the system and engines from the control room here in the station and down at gas control in Jackson. All this protection equipment provides Consumers Energy the ability to defend our assets from failure and operate the Ray Compressor Station safely for our employees, neighbors, and customers. All equipment underwent rigorous testing before being installed and placed into service, including the natural gas piping, which is hydro tested and or x-rayed to assure the strength and reliability of all the piping and connection points. We consider the health and safety of our employees, our customers, and the public to be of paramount importance. We believe no priority should ever justify compromising someone's safety. When I entered the natural gas industry, a coworker of mine told me, the best thing you can do is go home the same way you came and keep the gas in the pipe. As you can probably hear, the facility is running. You might hear some exhaust out here. Currently there are 3 engines in operation, moving about 8 million cubic feet of gas an hour into the storage, and we're currently at 1,350 pounds per square inch. And we do our absolute best to keep that gas inside the pipes and the storage field. If we do have a site emergency today, such as blowing gas, please walk safely back to the gate everyone came into over this direction to the muster point that's at the end of the road and wait for further instruction. Now this time I'd like to recognize everyone in the blue shirts that have the Consumers logos. These are some of the wonderful individuals that are putting on this event today. I appreciate everyone's help in that. They're the ones that can answer. They're the ones that can also answer any questions and help you in any way we possibly can. And last but certainly not least, the bathrooms are right out this direction here. Now I'd like to bring Dave Nightmare, the Senior Vice President and Governmental and Public Affairs and Chief Financial Officer of Consumers Energy to the stage. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm going to have to tell Tom Webb, our Chief Financial Officer, he's out and I'm in. So, that's good news. I didn't know that promotion was coming through. Well, let me just add my words of welcome to everyone here. I was thinking on the way up here, you know, on this beautiful Michigan day, I couldn't think of a better place to be than a natural gas compressor station. So it's cool though. I've been here before to talk to employees about compliance. I'm actually the Chief Compliance Officer too. But so far you haven't crossed the line, Mike. So one of the things that strikes me is, you know, you're driving to Ray, actually you're on top of the storage fields miles before you actually come through the front gate. And it just shows how vast this facility and the storage fields are. And of course, the storage capacity that we have here in Michigan is really one of the competitive advantages and one of the unique features that we have in our state, and we're going to talk a little bit about why storage capacity and facilities like Ray are a fantastic asset for our company, for our customers, and for our employees. Let me first welcome some very special guests today. Some are part of today's program, while others are here to show their support and see the benefits of our newly enhanced facility. U.S. Representative Candice Miller, who serves Armada in the Thumb area of Michigan. The Congresswoman, we're looking forward to hearing from you in a few minutes. We're also fortunate to have John Quackenbush, the chairman of the Michigan Public Service Commission, with us. And since his appointment as chairman of the MPSC, John has raised the profile of natural gas issues for Michigan. Whenever he gets a chance, Chairman Quackenbush has highlighted the efforts of Michigan utilities and regulators to accelerate their main replacement programs. He understands the important role that natural gas plays in meeting Michigan's future energy needs. Commissioner Sally Talberg is also with us today, and she has been on the job exactly 2 weeks, I'm told. But she's been in energy circles both here in Michigan and in Texas for many, many years. And we're very lucky to have a commissioner with such a deep understanding of energy issues serving on the Michigan Public Service Commission. So welcome, Sally. Several other MPSC staff members are also in attendance, including Brian Ballinger, Kathy Cole, and Mike O'Brien. Is Mike here? Okay. So welcome. Thanks for being with us. There are also some local officials here, and I apologize if I leave anybody off the list. I'm definitely not going to overlook Macomb County Sheriff Anthony Wickersham. So welcome, Sheriff. Assistant Macomb County Executive Melissa Roy, County Commissioner Don Brown, Armada Township Supervisor John Patrick, who we're going to be hearing from in a minute, as well as Mary Swiecki and Peg Smith. I also want to thank members of the Macomb Chamber of Commerce for being here with us today. I want to also welcome both Brian Penzak and Las Wutnick, who are from the Utility Workers Union of America, which represents many of our union employees. And so let me just say a couple words about Ray. Yeah, we're going to be recognizing Representative GOIKE too in a second. As the invitation you received stated, the Ray Compressor Station project is a $175 million investment designed to enhance our natural gas storage and delivery for our customers. As the company closely tracks sales and other economic indicators, we know that Michigan's economy is rebounding. The number of first-time new gas customers continues to increase as customers using more expensive fuel sources like propane look to reduce their high energy bills. They're right to choose natural gas because prices continue to fall while availability remains high. This year alone, our natural gas commodity price has dropped 26%, the lowest level our prices have been in more than a decade. In part, due to lower gas prices and increased customer growth, Consumers Energy recently moved into the top spot as Michigan's largest combination utility. This leading role makes our Ray construction project even more important. So you'll hear more about this from Dan Malone, but Consumers Energy is very proud to possess one of the largest natural gas storage reserves in the nation, thanks to location of some very favorable underground rock formations, including some that we're sitting on top of or standing on top of right now. Having extensive storage capacity provides the opportunity for Consumers Energy to purchase gas in the summer months when prices are often lower, then store it until we need it to deliver to customers when the cold weather arrives. Our storage allows us to avoid purchasing a lot of gas in the winter when market prices are typically higher, providing a significant economic benefit to our industrial, commercial, and residential customers. We're also proud to help spur Michigan's economic growth through the creation of jobs, including 900 linked to our successful energy efficiency program. Earlier this week, we also announced plans to hire almost 150 new gas field employees to help handle the increased workload brought on by more construction projects. So now I'd like to turn the podium over to Dan Malone to share more about our company and this construction project. Dan is the Senior Vice President of Distribution and Customer Operations and future CFO, I think. And the natural gas and electric operations fall under his purview, and I know he's anxious to talk about this project. So Dan?
Thanks, Dave, and just let me know when I have to start my training for that job. Well, good morning, and I want to thank you all for making the trip to beautiful Armada this morning, and what a fantastic day for this event. We have recently completed a $175 million construction project, which will enhance our natural gas storage and delivery capabilities. We consider Ray to be the crown jewel of our extensive gas and delivery system, and if you we have a flyover here for you today. I was going to wait for the national anthem. We'll tell them to a little bit early. But if you participate in one of our tours today, I think you'll understand why we consider this the crown jewel of our facility. I'd like to also begin by echoing Dave Megabeer's remarks and thanking everyone for being here today. We're pleased to be represented by so many of our officials from the federal, the state, and the local level. But I also want to recognize some of the project team that has brought this to fruition. There's too many people to call out everyone by name, but I do want to thank a couple of our senior project management representatives from Consumers Energy, Charlie Bunnell, and from BP&R Engineering, Don Notneris, who helped bring this project together. Thank you. I also want to recognize Dominic Tomasino and his team of 10 employees, and some of the folks in the blue shirts back there who are responsible for the day-to-day operations of the site. We're also pleased to have from the Michigan State Utility Workers, we highlighted Brian Penzick, the Senior Vice President of Local 254, and Les Woodka, one of the other Vice Presidents from the unit. Once again, thank you for being here today. But I also want to salute those transmission and storage retirees who made the effort and came here today. It's just phenomenal that we have some of the retirees who have worked in our storage system here with us. And in particular, I had the pleasure just a few minutes ago of meeting Mr. Floyd Neff. Floyd, raise your hand back there, please. For all of us being here today, Floyd is the one that actually picked this site out over 50 years ago and did some of the original hiring. So Floyd, thank you so much for joining us here today and for your work. This project represents the kind of projects which we believe the energy law was designed to bring about, and that is benefits to our customers, to strengthen our reliability, and to enhance our communities. And this station and the investment was brought about and was enabled by Michigan's 2008 energy reform law. Consumers Energy is committed to this state, and our company is dedicated to bringing Michigan back to prosperity. We are the second largest investor in the state, and in the next 5 years we'll invest almost $7 billion in infrastructure in the state of Michigan. And also our lead partner in the Pure Michigan Business Connect program from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, a program where Michigan companies write contracts to other Michigan-based companies. And recently, Consumers Energy take our commitment from an original $250 million commitment to a $1 billion commitment. And I'm happy to say that as of today, we have written $635 million in contracts through our Pure Michigan program in just 2 years. 50 million of those are at District 10, Candice, in your district alone. I also want to highlight this is the state's 7th largest employer with just over 7,200 employees. And construction of this project, which took about 850,000 labor hours to complete. We employed 24 Michigan-based contractors and related service companies and partnered with our employees, including 12 additional of the local unions. For more than 125 years, Consumers Energy has been part of the foundation of Michigan's growth and success, and this project serves as another example. David highlighted natural gas, and natural gas used to be called the bridge fuel, that bridge to get us to the future. Quite honestly, I believe natural gas right now is the fuel of the future. It's affordable, it's environmentally friendly, and as David indicated, it's now at our lowest cost in a decade, with a 12% decrease in cost in just the last year. Consumers Energy is also fortunate to have one of the largest storage systems in the nation. I believe we're number 2. Most of it occurring in geologic formations, rock formations like we are here today. It's rock that holds gas like a sponge. We have 15 storage fields, Ray being the largest one, and it comprises 1,600 acres. To put it in perspective, this field can hold 43 billion cubic feet of natural gas when it's compressed. That's enough to serve 40% or 680,000 of our 1.7 million natural gas customers through an entire winter season. So as the residential, commercial, and industrial growth expand, along with demand for new natural gas and power generation, we knew an upgrade was necessary. Once again, for those who aren't quite sure what a compressor station does, you'll see if you take a tour, large engines and compressors, and we take natural gas at atmospheric pressure, then we pressurize it and push it down in the fields. And then later, we'll bring it out and open the valves and float that gas out of the fields and send it to our customers. So part of the project's main focus was to install 5 new engines. These 5 engines produce a total of 23,675 horsepower. And I asked, can somebody give me a real example people can get their hands around? They gave me an analogy saying that's equivalent to 242 Toyota Priuses. And I said, well, let's go a little bit different. How about 53 American-made 2014 Chevy Corvette Stingrays with 450 horsepower each? Right? That's a little bit better. And this horsepower is vital to both store the natural gas and compress it and to move it through our fields. We might take gas out of here and flow it through the system, and we'll flow through this facility on a winter day anywhere between 1.3 and 3 billion cubic feet of gas. So it's with great pride that we can assure our customers that the Ray's compressor station and its ability to provide natural gas to our customers throughout the state. So at this time, there's no doubt this facility is the backbone of our system. It is the crown jewel. It's been here for over 50 years. And I'm very proud to say that with the completion of this $175 million project, Consumers Energy is demonstrating our promise to Michigan and right here in eastern Michigan so that we'll have natural gas whenever our customers want and need it. Once again, thank you for joining us today. And David, I'll turn it back over to you.
It's now my privilege to introduce a person who's been a strong supporter of Consumers Energy, our employees, and our customers at the federal level. Congresswoman Candice Miller represents Michigan's 10th congressional district, which includes Armada, northern Macomb County, and much of the Thumb area. Representative Miller is a veteran legislator who currently serves her 6th term in office. She's known for being a leader on protecting the Great Lakes, as well as promoting Michigan's economy and job creation. She has a keen understanding of the issues our company faces and works with us to come up with solutions that not only help protect the interests of customers employed, but also fosters a healthy business climate for our company and for other Michigan businesses. She serves as the chairman of the Committee on House Administration, and in fact, this is something surprising to me, is the only female chair of a committee in the U.S. House of Representatives. She serves as vice chair of the important House Committee on Homeland Security and is also a member of the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure, which sets policy for the nation's natural gas pipeline system. You may also remember that prior to being elected to Congress, Representative Miller served 2 successful terms as Michigan's Secretary of State, where she dramatically improved customer service, much to the joy of everyone who has ever stood in line at one of those offices. So please join me in welcoming U.S. Congrwoman Candice Miller.
Thank you so very much, Dave. I appreciate that very warm introduction and a warm welcome as well. I can't tell you how absolutely delighted I am to be here and how fantastic it is that we are getting an 810 flyover from Selfridge International Guard Base. And I got to point this out, Mr. Supervisor, you'll appreciate this. When I back in the day, when I used to be the township supervisor in Harrison Township, where Selfridge is, my husband was a former base commander there. You know, I tell you, on Monday morning, I would come in after a drill weekend, and I'd have all these phone calls from people that would say, oh, you know, those planes are, you know, turning jet fuel into noise, and they're ruining my barbecue or whatever, and I always had a standard line. I said, you know what, sir or madam, whatever the case was, that is the sound of freedom, and thank God they're one of ours. Thank God they're one of ours. So very appropriate that they came over today. And Dave, I'm glad you didn't forget to mention our great state representative, Ken GOIKE. I know we're going to hear from him in a minute, but he is actually the most popular guy in town right now. First of all, Dan, I said, well, here comes GOIKE. He's got his big cigar. He's chewing his cigar. He comes in. I said, this is Macomb County politics, but the key to this guy right now, he has got the Clydesdales in his fair. He's housing them right now. So if you want to see the Budweiser Clydesdales, this is the guy, the most popular guy in town right now, I'll tell you that. He's got a real cool thing going on there. But I am just so absolutely delighted to be here today to celebrate this fantastic event. What's happening here at the Ray Compressor project here. It's just such an enormous facility. It really makes your eyes pop out when you first drive in here and really get an idea, get your arms around the size of what is happening here. But when we think about this investment and commitment by CMS to our immediate community here and to Michigan, today speaks volumes to that kind of commitment. And I think about, whenever you think really about heating your home or your energy supplies or what have you, generations of Michiganians think about CMS, they think about consumers. I certainly know that I do. In fact, I was talking to my husband before I came here this morning. I said, I remember, I'm not going to date myself here, but I remember as a kid, in St. Clair Shores, we heated our home originally with oil. We had the oil truck coming all the time. And then my dad said, we're going to change we're going to heat our home here, Candice. I don't know how old I was, but he said, we're going to go to natural gas. I'm thinking, wow, what is that, being used to oil. But he said, it's cleaner, it's more efficient. It's more reasonably priced. It's reliable. It's all of these kinds of things, and so, my family became a customer of consumers, and I think so many families in Michigan can certainly tell the same story. That's for sure, because CMS has been here in Michigan for over 125 years. They have almost 7 million customers, which is really an astounding number. I think. They have always as well been a great corporate citizen. A great corporate citizen, not just for our immediate community, but for the entire state of Michigan as well. Dan mentioned a number of the investments, different things that they're doing with the MEDC, with Pure Michigan as well. One thing that he did not mention that I think is important to note, that CMS has actually won, not just once but 5 times, they've won the Michigan Clean Corporate Citizen Award because of how environmentally sensitive they are, how they deliver their products, and that has not gone unrecognized, certainly by everyone in Michigan. And again, I think we can all speak to our own experiences that as we've watched CMS grow as a company, as Michigan has grown, and this company has always been there for us, for Michiganians. They have always, as I say, provided a very reliable source of energy, clean, the way that they store it, the way that they resource the company, the way that they deliver with customer service as a priority always. It's a remarkable achievement. But they have really, natural gas, of course, has become such an integral part of our entire energy portfolio. And our nation, of course, is a huge consumer. As Americans, we are a huge consumer of fossil fuels. We think about oil, we think about coal. In fact, oftentimes I'll remind people that in the electricity in Michigan, about 67% of that actually comes from coal, even though we're not a coal state. But what is happening now is you are seeing such a change from some of these fossil fuels to natural gas. And that is entirely appropriate because it really is the cleanest fossil fuel available to us. It produces less carbon, less sulfur dioxide. And so it really is a very environmentally sensitive product. And I think, just as I was telling you my personal story about going to heating our house from oil to go to natural gas, and we see now as we think about heating our homes or whatever using natural gas, I predict in our lifetimes that you are going to see a principal way to power our vehicles is going to be natural gas. I really think that is coming, and it can't come too soon. When you think, again, about America's heavy reliance on foreign fossil fuels, many times, in most cases, quite frankly, from countries that are not particularly friendly to the United States. So energy independence, in my mind, and as was mentioned, I sit on the Homeland Security Committee, also means energy security, means national security. And I see CMS as being an integral player in that, because if you think about other places that are already going to natural gas for their vehicles. You see a lot of it in Europe. You see it now. I mean, Washington, D.C., the big buses are being powered by natural gas. America is a footprint, the biggest player really, in the world market for consumption of energy. You can think about how this company can be such an integral part of changing the geopolitics of the entire world in a very positive way for America. And so I just think the potential is great, and that's all good news. It's good news certainly for CMS and for Michigan that we have a company like this is advantaging some of the things that are happening naturally here in Michigan. Michigan has the 5th largest deposits of natural gas of all the states, and of course we see what's going on across America now with the hydraulic fracturing and the fracking and some of these kinds of things. A lot of that going to be happening here in Michigan, as well as we as a nation need to advantage ourselves of our own products. And then again, in the very porous underground that we're all standing on here, that lends itself so beautifully to a storage facility. It really speaks to, again, I think the vision of this company to take advantage of all of those kinds of things as well. And so today, as we celebrate the Ray Compressor Station, as was mentioned, the crown jewel, really, of storage fields of these facilities, $175 million investment, which is so important, even for the local community here, just the spin-off, the economic spin-off of the construction, of jobs that are being created here now in the immediacy, as well as long-term as well, with tax revenues to the local community and the local area as well. Very, very important. So I would just close by telling you this. In the time that I've served in the United States Congress, one of the things that I've had, it's been my great honor and privilege to get to know people like Dan Malone and others on his team that work so extraordinarily hard to make sure that members of Congress that are voting on various issues that have impact on a company like this understand the issues. All relationships have reciprocity as an important component. That means credibility. I think, and trust on each side. I certainly have found that with everybody that represents CMS to the United States Congress. But I also know this, from all of my public service and my dad being involved in the marina business. That's what I did for a living before I ever got involved in politics, coming from a small business. But whatever your business is, all the great technology and everything, that is very, very important. But the most important thing for any great company is the people. The people. You have to have a dedicated workforce. You have to have a leader. You have to have leadership that supplies the vision of the direction the company is going. You have to have everybody buying into the vision, pulling together as a team, sort of like a team of Clydesdales, I guess. Some are the show horse, some are the workhorse. You know? But you need to have all of that, and I think it's particularly telling that you have some retirees here today. One of them grabbed my hand on the way up and said, I've retired from this company, I put my kids through school, I did this, I did that, I'm so proud of this company. Even after they leave, they are proud of the association that they had with this company. And so for all of you that are working here today and continue to work, and as new people come on with this company, I think that really is what speaks to the heart of an organization. So I'm just very proud to be able to represent this area, this particular area in the United States Congress, and to be here today for this celebration at this compressor field as well. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
So just for the record, Dan and I decided we were workhorses, not show horses. So get that on the record. So our next speaker is Brian Penzak, who Dan mentioned is the Senior Vice President of Local 254 with the Michigan State Utility Workers Union of America. Brian represents Macomb area union employees, and we really appreciate the ongoing partnership we have with the utility workers. So welcome, Brian.
I'd like to just say good morning to everybody. And my name is Brian Penzak. I am the Senior VP from Local 254. I'm also here with Les Wubka, the VP from the St. Clair headquarters. Where are you, Les? There you We're here on behalf of the Michigan State Utility Workers Council. And I'll kind of keep this brief. The State Council and the Local 254 would like to commend and applaud the union workers and management team that worked together building this beautiful state-of-the-art facility. Hopefully, going forward with the success of the construction and renovation of the Ray Compressor Station, it will inspire our company, Consumers Energy, to update the other facilities to this type of standard, which in turn we know will create job opportunities and growth within the company and for other Michigan businesses. I had the chance to tour the facility about a year ago with our local safety culture guidance team and came away utterly impressed at the work being done and a greater appreciation of the work of my fellow union members out here. Chuck Kelly took us on a tour and took us from site to site, and he talked about a lot of the obstacles that he and his co-workers had to overcome to make this project succeed. Well, that's why we're here today, because it did succeed. But more importantly, they did it safely. They watched out for each other, they watched out for any contractors on site, and everybody went home safe to their families. And ultimately, that is the main goal of Consumers Energy and the union. So, on behalf of the State Council, I'd like to say congratulations on all your hard work and dedication in making this a safe and successful project. Thank you.
It's my pleasure now to introduce the most popular person in Armada. Our next speaker is no doubt well known to anyone who's lived or worked in Armada. Ken GOIKE is a lifelong resident of Macomb County and owner of GOIKE Trucking and Excavating. As Candice mentioned, he also is the current president of the Armada Fair. I often wonder when I see people with a list of work and activities like that, what do they do in their spare time? Representative Ken GOIKE was elected to the Michigan House in November 2010 and is a member of the committees on natural resources, insurance, and Michigan competitiveness. So please join me in welcoming Ken GOIKE.
Well, thank you for that great introduction, and thank you for being here. It only took me 34 years to get on this site. I've lived in the neighborhood that long, but it's a great opportunity. And the fair starts off August 12th through the 18th, and the Clydesdales won't be there then, if that's what you're hoping for, but we do have a good host of events to go there. They're on a pass-through right now, so they're at the fairgrounds, and if some of you want to get there, I do have a key to the gate, so it's an opportunity. But, you know, the biggest thing here is safety. Safety, I worked 5 years on gas distribution, so I learned quite a bit about Consumers Power, Michicon, Southeastern Michigan Gas Company at that time, and their safety record. I happen to know a guy that Consumers Power hired, former military person. It's like, all right, that's pretty awesome. You know what? They respect our vets. His name was Jack Little. He worked here at this compressor station. In 1973, he was here. And his background was on jet motors. Well, the jet motors is what compresses the gas and puts it in this perfect rock formation, the best in the state, one of the best in the nations. And with that background, knowing that, and working with them, when I bought my property on 32 Mile Road, I had no qualms. The gas company property butts up to the back of my property. I was not worried about the safety issues because I know what their track record is on that and how they treat their employees, because I had 5 years of dealing with that through my personal experiences. Some of the stuff was a pain in the neck at times, but it was because of safety. And when you looked at the big picture, it gives you a lot of faith in how this company operates and what they do for the community. And what it also helps for me is when I have constituents in this area calling because of what has been going on about, with the drilling and doing the fracking in the soil, and everybody's up in arms because they're not informed. They don't understand. Fracking has been going on for almost 60 years, and it's safe. This company follows guidelines on everything that they do. But this is all about distribution and a product here. And when you understand that it's just a giant holding capacity, big storage field, and it helps keep everybody warm. Keeps a lot of energy in a lot of different avenues for people. And I can, Candice has taken a lot of points that are awesome. It is our future. Natural gas is our future. One of the things that I like to say right now to a lot of people in Lansing is, you know what? We're all carbon. Everybody in this room, everything, every living plant. And it all dies and decays. And if we do not use fossil fuel, the world's going to become polluted with fossil fuel. But let's use it responsibly, and let's do it in a safe manner so that we can live our life, in this great state of ours and this great nation. So there's a lot of stuff that can be said now that I'm a politician, but there's more people to talk. And I just want to thank you very much for this opportunity to be up here, and thank you for what you do for the community and having a safe place. And if you can change your practice on allowing us to hunt on the consumer's property again, it would be awesome. It seems like the big bucks, they know where to hang out right now. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Ken. I'll actually take up that request on hunting with the Chief Compliance Officer and let you know how it turns out.
We already know.
Next on our program, representing Macomb County Executive Mark Hackle, is Assistant County Executive Melissa Roy. Ms. Roy directs all of the executive's legislative and intergovernmental affairs initiatives. This includes the county's legislative agenda, strategy, advocacy, and negotiations with county, regional, state, and federal decision makers. Prior to this position, Melissa served 12 years with the Detroit Regional Chamber. So Melissa, thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you, David. It is an honor to be here this morning. And to our visitors, welcome to Macomb County. As David mentioned, my name is Melissa Roy, and I'm representing the County Executive's Office. Mark apologizes for not making it this morning, but is very proud of today's announcement and very appreciative to Consumers Energy and their continued commitment to Macomb County. Macomb County, for those of you who aren't familiar, or many of us who are familiar with a certain part of the county, is very dynamic and has a number of different communities. We have dynamic urban clusters, with expansive networks of industry and commerce varying from manufacturing and robotics to communities like Ray Township, Armada Township, and Chesterfield Township, Macomb Township, with over 400 active farms and numerous natural features. We have 32 miles of coastline here in Macomb County and 17,000 acres of recreational land. County Executive Hackle has been focused on getting the story of Macomb County onto the regional and statewide radar, and has a new campaign called Make Macomb Your Home. You may have seen it on the movie screens. We have some advertisements there, or at Freedom Hill. But the slogan is really to showcase how important the county is for our region as a place where families and hardworking individuals can find a welcoming community, opportunity, and a place to call home. It is also an ode to the businesses that have made a commitment to be a part of the community, whether they've been here for 4 months, 4 decades, or over 100 years. The county is home to about 18,000 businesses, 850,000 residents, and because of consumers' investment in the Ray Compressor Station, also home to enough gas to power 40% of their customers across the state. Thank you very much. I'd like to give a special thank you to the Michigan-based employees, Brian and his team, the 12 labor unions, and of course Consumers Energy and their employees who all made this project possible. Thank you for making Macomb your home.
Now I'd like to introduce Armada Township Supervisor, John Paderek. I've been told that the township has been really great to work with and very responsible to this lengthy construction project. And as often the case, that attitude starts at the top. So John, welcome.
Thank you very much.
quite humbled to be sitting here with community service leaders like we have and the rest of the team here. As we talked earlier, Candice, my biggest complaint up here is the dusty roads. So there's not a lot of activity here. This whole experience of Consumers Energy started for me with a safety drill with the fire department up here. At one point thinking there was this big hole in the ground that they pumped stuff into, and you really didn't understand the mechanics that happen under the ground and what you guys can do with this land. So to learn about the area we have underneath this community was quite a surprise and quite earnest for our community. The investments Consumers Energy has made locally in our community has certainly helped our tax base. On behalf of our township board and the elected officials, we appreciate that. But even more so in the pre-construction meetings and going through how this process started, because we don't have a lot of large construction projects, to see what it's going to look like on paper and what everybody talks about in pre-construction, to actually going to the site probably 8 or 10 times over the last 2 years to see it turn into something real was quite astronomical. It's an amazing thing when you go out there to see what these folks have done back there. It's a beautiful facility. But more than that, it was the commitment of Consumers Energy, its staff and employees, to help our town, to go downtown and to patronize our businesses, and to have local caterers come and bring facilities here. For that, I'm grateful. Jobs, like everybody knows, is probably the most important thing we've tried to create since 09 and 010. What you guys have done has been incredible, and I'm talking about the employees and the whole bunch. I know a lot of you from town, just from going in and eating dinner. Thank you for everything you've done for our town. That, I needed to say it. And I also, the offer still stands. I'm still ready to throw in the pig roast. So you get your crew together, I'll bring a pig roast out here and we will have a lunch. I promise you, I owe you that for what you've done for our community. But thanks for your efforts to safety. Thanks for your commitment to our community. Thanks to Melissa for straightening out the Armada thing, because I always tend to try to tell people that call it Armada we don't quite have enough water to be Armada, so we go by Armada. And it's kind of funny that you call this your jewel of Consumers Energy, because I quite honestly referred to Armada as the pearl of northern Macomb County. So to have a jewel and a pearl all in the same township, I think is a pretty fortunate situation to be in. So.
Okay, well that kind of concludes our formal program. I'm just checking my calendar. I'm pretty much free for the next 2 weeks for the pig roast. If you want, well, we can talk about it after.
He does an awesome job. He does our appreciation.
Really? Okay. I'll be back. So I want to invite everyone to join us outside the plant as we take part in a brief ribbon cutting ceremony. Then you can choose to don a hard hat and other safety equipment and take a tour to see the finished construction. And when you return, and I've been looking at this name for a while, we have lunch provided by the local catering company, Ackett's.
You gotta come up for figure.
Okay. Ackett's, Armada. Okay, got it.
They're better than Traverse City.
I do want to note that the company takes great pride in our commitment to buying from Michigan companies and buying Michigan products and services. And that includes a lot of the food and services that we have here today. I'm looking at those pies. So I just wanted to recognize that. I want to thank all of our speakers today for being with us, and also all of our special guests. And then on behalf of our President and CEO, John Russell, Dan, and the rest of the senior management team, I want to particularly thank the team of employees here at Ray and throughout the company for the planning and execution of not only this fantastic facility and construction project, but this event today. Your efforts are truly appreciated. So thank you again for joining us, and please join us outside for the ribbon cutting and the tours. Thank you.
Okay, anytime.